Introducing Ortho Access. OA Centers for Orthopedics is pleased to announce their new orthopedic walk-in clinic, the first of its kind in Maine. Sprain, strain, or pain? No need for an appointment. Walk on into Ortho Access 6 days a week. OA's orthopedic specialists will see you Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Seriously, no appointment needed. Just walk into Ortho Access, 33 Sewell Street in Portland. Find them online at orthoassociates.com or like them on Facebook. OA. Experience in motion.
If you are a coach, a booster, a PTA leader, Maine Athletic Fundraising is the choice to help you make money. Maine Athletic Fundraising works with both high school and youth programs of all ages to make you the most amount of money in the least amount of time. No risk, no minimums. Mark Smith and his staff will walk you through every step of their plan to help you meet your financial goals. Call them today, 207-468-1759, or check them out online, MaineAthleticFundraising.com.
All aboard MBR.org, the place to get all your high school and amateur sports news and information. MBR.org is in high gear with Maine high school winter sports. Go to MBR.org to chat about your favorite team. Find the latest articles, travel news, and cancellations. Or visit their all-new and very popular team pages. MBR.org has everything you want to know about high school and amateur sports in Maine. Coming in February, all the high school tournament action at your fingertips 24/7. It's high school sports heaven. All aboard MBR.org.
You're listening to Maine High School basketball on the stations of Gleason Media and online at mbr.org.
I'm sure going to the state finals is beyond your wildest dreams, so let's just keep it right there. Forget about the crowds, the size of the school, their fancy uniforms, and remember what got you here. Focus on the fundamentals that we've gone over time and time again. And most important, don't get caught up thinking about winning or losing this game. If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential to be the best that you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners. Okay? All right! Let's go! Let's go! Let me hear it!
Now let's take it courtside.
Number 36, Connor Nilsson from Oak Hill High School. Number 26, Tyler Susie from Richmond High School. Number 37, Colin Miller from Valley High School. Number 18, Gage Cody from Monmouth Academy. Number 8, Dalton Terrian from Oak Hill High School. Number 34, Brady Anderson from Sockabee Valley.
Not that Brady Anderson.
No, not that Brady
Ryan
Anderson.
Sinclair from Halldale High School. Number 18, Gage Kyle Moore from Searsport High School. Number 30, Darren Wood from Wisconsin High School. Number 33, Coleman Pelkey from Trape Academy. Number 32, Caleb Clark from Gould Academy. Number 29, Cody Laurierson from Valley High School. Number 6, Troy Reynolds from Searsport High School. Number 31, Roderick Maynard from Sockabee Valley. Number 35, Nick Sanborn from Monmouth Academy. Number 24, Chase Malloy from Madison High School. 6, Troy Reynolds from Trape Academy. Selected but unable to play, Donovan Asano from Dirigo High School and Tim Fitzgerald from Mountain Valley. Please welcome the coaches and players from the North team, the home team in the blue uniforms. Their coaches, Peter Speed from Central High School. Danny Kane from George Stevens Academy. Ernie Garish from Penobscot Valley High School. And Jim Zabriskie from Penobscot Valley High School. The players, number 30, Cam Varney from Washington Academy. Number 8, Grant Pullman from Central High School. Number 35, Grant Doan from Penobscot Valley. Number 29, Billy Phillips from Holton High School. Number 18, Thomas Spencer from Penobscot Valley High School. Number 7, Jake Gobbin from Bucksport High School. Number 36, Gordon McCall from Limestone High School. Number 19, Dakota Batchelor from Penobscot Valley High School. Number 16, Dakota Chipman from George Stevens Academy High School. Number 27, Dakota Reinhardt from Katahdin High School. Number 9, Ryan Jurgowitz from Skink High School. Number 31, Dennis Farnham from Orbital High School. Number 26, Jared Priest from Penobscot Valley High School. Number 17, Will Entwistle from George Stevens Academy. Number 33, Pat Finn from Washington Academy. And number 34, Zach Randall from Central High School. Selected but unable to play, Devin Whitney from Stearns, Zach Bouchard from Stearns, Hayden Craig from Bucksport, and Ryan D. from Holton. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem?
And with that, we will get started on the Maine Senior All-Star Games, Classes C and D, the North versus the South. No Joshua Chamberlain involved with this one. Beautiful day, Colby College. Right behind home plate, undisclosed camera guy, also joined by Travis Lasarchik from CentralMaine.com. That's the correct plug, right? If I go through each paper, I'm
correct and sneaky. Yes, thank you, Mark.
Very good, very good.
Say it 3 times fast. CentralMaine.com, CentralMaine.com, CentralMaine.com.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then all of a sudden, there you are. So shout out to Randy Whitehouse, Bill Stewart, and the rest of the gang over there. Beautiful time of year, Travis. This is what it comes down to. The best seniors in the state. A lot of them putting on the old uniform pants and the team hat for the last time.
Yeah, coming out on a great facility like this and a great day like this is kind of the reward for having the spring practices in the mud and the cold or in the gym, and it's just nice to get out here one last time for a lot of these boys.
This is an absolutely gorgeous facility. Of course, field turf all the way around. Not a lot of folks are going to get dirt stains on the pants today, so whoever's washing those should be pretty excited about this. They're not going to have to go through the bleach thing as they go to turn those in, which is a big key. So some players aren't able to make it today, but that's all right. Devin Whitney, Zach Bouchard, Hayden Craig, Ryan D. were selected but unable to play. Also Tim Fitzgerald and Gavin Arsenal selected but unable to play. Also Ryan Palmer from Dirigo, one of our MBR radio broadcast colleagues as a coach over on the south side. So fun stuff there as we're about to get underway here at Colby College. It's nice to be in shade, too. So
yes.
Very exciting stuff.
Nice breeze.
It's a beautiful, and here's the other thing. There's a beautiful, you've got the A and B game tonight with the North and the South, and you have the Winkin Award that's going to be given out in between games. Correct. So we'll be talking about that as well. There, we got the umpires in. They were not introduced at first. They've got the names, so they're going to come out here on their day. It's good. There's 3 of them today, too, which is a big key. Thank you very much. Was there a favorite team you had all year, Travis, that you like covering? Like, not obviously like, oh, gee, you're rooting for them, but more like, oh, hey, they're fun for access. They were fun for quotes. Anything like that in your area?
Not particularly. There's a few good teams. Like Winslow team's always fun to watch this year because they like to run. I saw a couple games where they'd steal upwards of 6, 7, 8 bases, and that's always exciting to see. But not one favorite team to like stand out.
A lot of good squads in your area today. I was doing the show prep and the game prep for this one, kind of going through articles, some of them from April, some of them through May, and you had a lot of them. Monmouth had an undefeated regular season. I always find baseball to be the sport where you never know what's going to happen in the playoffs because it's such a totally different ball of wax.
One game, you make a few errors. Like going back to that Winslow team, they make 4 errors against a Nokomis team that was peaking, and they're out in the first round.
Right. It happens often. I mean, Monmouth lost to Sacopee Valley on a walk-off, and traveled out to Sacopee Valley this year. What a great facility they've got out there. It's out in the middle of nowhere. All of a sudden you turn around, it's like Field of Dreams. You're waiting for
Never
corn
been out
or
there.
something. It's a drive.
My job has not taken me to Hiram yet.
Bill Stewart needs to get on that.
Yeah.
Gage,
no, you don't, Bill.
Get on it, Phil.
Yeah.
Gage Cody will come in from Monmouth Academy. He's an accomplished pitcher. He's a very good leadoff hitter for Monmouth Academy this year. Also a soccer all-star as well, so lots of athletic stuff going on with Monmouth. You'll find with a lot of these Monmouth players, they were all very good soccer players as well.
Yeah, a lot of multi-sport athletes, particularly at these small schools.
First pitch is going to be taken for a strike, and we are underway. It's Roderick Maynard on the mound, excuse me. That pitch is going to be fouled away. Nope, let me flip that over here real quick. That's going to be Dennis Farnham from Orono who's on the mound. Got to put the red and the blue on each side, then you're all right. Then you're okay. That pitch is going to be cue ball down the third base line, foul.
It'll be interesting to see if there's any rust on some of these pitchers. Some of them, if they didn't play in state games, haven't played in more than a week, unless they've, jumped into their Legion schedules that have started up.
Man, Legion wasted no time. That picked right up.
They
and there
can't.
it was.
The season's it's such a compact window.
Fouled right back. Out of play. Everything's a compact window for baseball.
It really is. It's a sprint.
It really is. And you never know what you're getting for weather either.
No.
Another 0-2 pitch. That one is going to be grounded over to first. And there is one away there.
I covered some games in mid-May where it was 35 degrees, and then a week later it's 80.
Nice play there by Billy Phillips from Holton, who's playing first base for the North squad. Well, we had the game Mount Ararat and Oxford Hills, and literally I covered the same game twice for them. It was the exact same score, 4-2. Windy, cold, both times. One was in May, one was in June. You never know what you're getting.
That's spring in Maine.
That's spring in Maine. That's exactly what it is.
Such as it is.
Such as it is. Cody Lawyerson steps in from Valley. Great basketball player. Also a very good baseball player. He takes the first pitch for a ball, and then he lines the next pitch into right center field, in the left center field for a base hit. Good piece of hitting right there, going to the opposite field.
Going to UMaine next fall.
A lot of UMainers playing in this one, whether they're on scholarship or whether they're walk-on invites. Quite a few of them. Of course, they'll also be playing in Sunday's game in the Maine versus New Hampshire All-Star roster. We'll have that for you here on NBR.org. Looking forward to that. I haven't been to New Hampshire in a while.
Is that game in Nashua?
Oh, no, it's, I can tell you where it is in a minute. I'll tell you where it is between the break, but I know it's not Nashua. It's a different ball of wax. Throw over to first,
New Hampshire plays All-Star games against both Maine and Vermont now, so.
They don't do the football one over there anymore, do they?
They still do the Maple Sugar Bowl, yes.
Oh, they do?
Vermont
Good.
and New Hampshire.
I know there had been
Vermont hasn't won it in 16 years, but they still play it nonetheless.
Pitch to Brady Anderson. As Travis said in the introductions, not that Brady Anderson.
Right.
He is from Shakopee Valley.
That would be a record.
That would be a big deal. He was the Western Maine Conference Class C and D Player of the Year as a junior. He's also the club's leadoff hitter. A throw over to first, and the runner back is Lawyerson. Shakopee Valley squad beat George Stevens Academy last week. Lawyerson's going, throw down to first, and they're going to get him if the shortstop can hang on to the throw, but he is not able to do that. Throw bounced in there, and Govan wasn't able to field it cleanly. Lawyerson gets a stolen base. Two 2-1 pitch to Anderson's going to be on the inside corner, off the inside corner. Now 3-1. Top of the first, no score. It's the Class C and D North versus South Senior All-Star game here at Colby College. 3-1 pitch is going to be inside, tied him up. He fouls it off and out of play. Another good thing around here, not a lot of woods, so it's not like you got to go into the forest to get the balls like you got to do in a lot of places. Here, everything's pretty much right out in the open. It's either going to be in...
As long as it doesn't roll down the hill behind us here and
should be okay.
End up in downtown Waterville, people will be all right.
3-2 pitch. Off speed is going to be cue-balled into left field, and if that stays fair, it's going to be trouble, and it's just foul. Just foul. That's one of those, you know you're having a good day when it falls right, and it doesn't. Ugh. That's how it is. Teams are in offensive slumps. They usually go foul when teams are just, hitting it all over the place like the Sox were a few weeks ago. Right. That'll drop right in on the line. It'll be chalk everywhere. Sure. That's how baseball works. Did the 3-2 pitch again to Anderson with one out runner on second. Checked his swing, and they're going to call it a ball. Actually, no, they call it a strike on the appeal. And Anderson is out. Dramatic strike out there, and there's two away here in the top of the first.
Ryan Sinclair from Halldale High School.
And another finalist for the Winkin Award is Ryan Sinclair from Halldale.
He'll be heading off to Holy Cross. I'm not sure if he's going to be playing baseball or not.
That's a good question. Let's go to the handy-dandy thing. Shortstop and a pitcher for Halldale. Actually had to overcome a freak knee injury last year.
That's right.
Shattered his right kneecap while fielding a ground ball in practice. So he's bounced back from that pretty well, I'd say. That pitch is outside 1-0. Of course, any kid that wears stirrups is a favorite of mine anyways.
It's a classic look.
Yeah, that's, makes you feel good about the future of America when you see that stuff right there. 1-0 pitch. Outside 2-0. Oh, on the outside corner. 1-1.
It's an all-star game. Big and wide strike zone. Get up there swinging.
It's the Eric Gregg strike zone. It's from the 97
Nobody
NLCS.
wants to walk in an all-star game.
Right. No, you don't. Well, my OBP was 1,000. Yeah, you walked 4 times at an All-Star game. 1-1 pitch is...
If it's close, take your hacks.
Right, yes. Is inside 2-1. And that'll be a no play, and we'll set it up all over again. Dennis Farnham from Orono is on the mound. Lawyerson's on second, 2 outs. 2-1 pitch, high, 3-1. Farnham looks in, steps and throws, swung and a miss, 3-2.
And it looks like he only swung at that one because it was called a strike in that area.
He's like, I should swing
earlier
at that.
in the count.
Right. You got to kind of readjust the strike zone, like in your own mind at that point. 3-2 pitch is going to be swung on and missed. Strike 3. Down goes Sinclair from Halldale. They leave 1 on here in the top of the first. We're midway through 1. No score between the North and the South. It's the Class C and D North versus South Senior All-Star game here on mbr.org. Just want to thank the folks from the Edge Academy for making this game possible. Also, our video stream sponsor, Orthopedic Associates. Find out more from them online at orthoassociates.com. Remember, their new Ortho Access Clinic on 33 Sewell Street in Portland is now open 6 days a week. Get your athlete back on the field faster. Get that injury looked at sooner. Ortho Access Clinic is now open 33 Sewell Street in Portland. For more information, go to orthoassociates.com. Roderick Maynard from Sacopee Valley on the mound to lead things off for the South squad. South is in the red. North is in the blue. It was fun watching these kids take the infield practice on this turf earlier because that's not a common occurrence. Usually it's
very few of them have probably ever played on turf.
Right. It's you never know what choppy infield surface you're going to be on depending on where you go. So because you never know, there could have been a thunderstorm the day before and it washes out everything. So you don't have to worry about mowing this grass either.
This turf is still in its first year, so it's going to be in the best shape possible.
This is not like the Fitzpatrick Stadium turf from a couple of years ago. Totally different.
That looked like, just by the time it had outlived its usefulness, looked like a really, really beat-up mini golf course.
It felt like it, too, walking on it. All I could think of was Wendell Davis shattering his kneecaps when he played for the Bears at Veterans Stadium, kind of that same thing.
Well, thankfully they've replaced it, and it's good as new now.
Looking forward to that this year. Cam Varney, outfielder, leads it off. Shout out to the North team for going right down the roster for the lineup here. Cam Varney bats right-handed for Washington Academy. He steps up against Maynard. That first pitch is going to be flared away and out of play.
Yeah, in this game we're going to probably much eschew the re-entry rules and normal traditional lineups, and you're going to see everybody bat. People play a lot of different positions.
That is going to be flared over to third. Sinclair across the diamond. Over to Colin Miller, and there's a 1 away.
Now batting number 8, Grant Poulin from Central High School.
Grant Poulin from Central High School steps in now against Maynard from Sacopee Valley.
Like, for instance, Ryan Sinclair right there playing third base for the South is normally a shortstop.
Learning all sorts of stuff. Or showing off all sorts of stuff, more like. That pitch is a ball, 1-0. Maynard got the win last week as Sacopee Valley won the Class C state title. That pitch is swung on and missed by Poulin. 1-1. Was a very good pitch. Looks in. He is not wasting any time. That's on the outside corner for a strike, 1-2. Maynard looks in. Gets a sign. Throws. 1-2 pitch. Just off the outside corner, 2-2. 380 to center, 365 in the left center field power alley. That pitch is a curveball, swung on a miss, strike 3, and there's 2 away. Poulin down swinging.
Now batting number 35, Grant Doan from Penobscot Valley.
Grant Doan from Penobscot Valley jumps in. Penobscot Valley, of course, lost to Searsport last week in the state championship game. That pitch is a strike, 0-1. Doan actually fell a home run short of the cycle earlier this year in a May 31st victory over Katahdin. Wow. Saw a lot of that in the prep for this one. A lot of guys with a single, a double, and a double, and a triple didn't quite get the home run for the cycle this year. 0-2 pitch to Doan. Low, 1-2. One and two, 2 outs. Bottom of the first, no score. C&D North and South Senior All-Star game. That pitch is outside. 2-2. Maynard's curveball swung on a miss. Strike 3. That was nasty.
Impressive inning.
That was a very impressive inning for Mr. Maynard. After 1 inning of play, we are scoreless here at Colby College. It is a Class C&D North versus South Senior All-Star game here on MBR.org, streaming live on YouTube. Just look for MBR Sports.
No.
I'm going out in 3 weeks. Me and Dex are going out.
Oh, cool.
3:30 down the lines here.
2 games and off right now. We're rotating 3 guys.
I know their third baseman.
Farnham will come in for the second inning for Orono for the North squad. Still on the mound. Dakota Chipman from George Stevens Academy. They were the Class C runner-up last week, St. Joseph's College. He is behind the dish. Of course, the A and B games will be tonight, and that'll be preceded by the Winkin Award presentation. That'll be in between games. Stay tuned here to MBR.org. We'll try to get you all the coverage for that. They throw it down to second, and we're ready to go for the top of the second inning. Ryan Palmer heads down to third base for the South squad.
Number 7, Kyle Moore from Searsport High School.
Kyle Moore from the state champion Searsport. They won Class D. And we're back underway. He'll score off against Farnham. They state champions back-to-back, 17-3 on the year.
Yeah, so long a successful program in Class C in Eastern Maine. Now that they move down to Class D, they will be playing in the other division in the South.
That pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Lots of shuffling for different teams this year. And, of course, you see a lot of schools that are C schools that play the D schedule. It's interesting for baseball. That pitch is fouled away at the plate, 0-2. Moore actually got hit in the throat by a ball last week's game against Penobscot Valley. He got a strikeout and a double play to end the inning, though. So he took a couple of sips of water to freshen himself up. So that was good. That's pretty gritty right there.
Yeah, shake it off.
Off-speed pitch is going to be lined into center field for a base hit. Good piece of hitting there by Moore to stay back on the curveball. And the South has a leadoff runner on here in the top of the second.
Some of the A and B players arriving now, getting ready to go.
Throw over to first, runner back. That pitch is outside, 1-0. I'm being very delayed on the outside corner pitches. I want to make sure that. Another throw over to first, and Moore is barely off the bag, so he didn't have to go back too far. Billy Phillips from Holton still on first base. Farnham sets, throws. Pitch is going to be grounded over to second, to short for 1, and that'll be that. Hit a little too slowly on the turnaround there, and there's 1 away. That'll be a fielder's choice, 4-6 in your scorecard.
Caleb Clark from Gould Academy.
Yeah, we were talking earlier in the pre-game, about how this turf, while it's new, is not playing fast yet, and it certainly did not there.
It certainly didn't. You're expecting that to kind of bounce right on you, and it didn't. By that, I was, of course, talking about the second baseman. That pitch is outside now. They throw it down to first to try and get more, and he just slides back in. That was a really, really good attempt there by Dakota Chipman. That's when you're really glad that the first baseman is right-handed because he can kind of catch it with the left hand and go from there. Caleb Clark is in from Gould Academy. Pitch is fouled back. Caleb isn't just a good baseball player. He's also a very good skier as well for Gould Academy. Lots of
many kids at Gould Academy are.
Yeah, that's a ski school, that's for sure. It's not often you can say that about a school, but they're definitely ski schools. Throw over to first, runner back.
A handful of them in the state.
Yeah. Being in Bethel helps. That's a
true.
That's a fairly
right at Sunday River's footstep.
Yeah, that's right there. I think they teach him to ski before that they actually walk out there.
Be a crime not to.
Over to second again, and that'll be 4-3 on your scorecard. Really good play on that one by number 34, Zach Randall from Central. And there's 2 away.
Dalton Terrian up now, one of the best quarterbacks in the state last year for Oak Hill High School, won a Class D state title.
That's a very good program. And he lines that first pitch into center field for a base hit. Not a lot of schools can claim 3 in a row. They're going to wave the runner home, and he's going to make it. Nice.
Terrian to second on the throw.
Nice job there by Foy to go right around. Good slide as well. And Ryan Palmer not messing around down at third base. Terrian with a good base running play, too. And it's 1-0. The South leads here in the top of the second inning. Farnham pitches in there for a strike. Roderick Maynard with a chance to help his own cause. Pitch swung on a miss. He pulled the string on that one. 0-2. Pitch to Maynard. On the way is going to be lined up the middle for a base hit. Terrian's going to be waved in. And he's going to get in there without a slide. RBI single for Roderick Maynard from Shakopee Valley. And it's 2-0. South with the lead.
Now batting number 19, Chandler Harris from Monmouth Academy.
Chandler Harris steps in. From Monmouth Academy, yet another good soccer player that they have. Throw down to second. They had him, but he could not hang on to it. Tough play there for Randall. Just lost the ball on contact. Good slide there by Maynard to get second base. One out. Pitch is fouled straight back. That pitch, what a curveball. Just off the inside corner, 1-2. That would have had me moving. And
that would have buckled my knees, I think.
Yeah, I would have been thinking about it. Harris actually fell a home run short of the cycle, but did pick up the win on the mound in a 19-3 win over Telstar this year. That's quite a day when you almost get a cycle and get the win on the mound. Yeah. That's going to be grounded back to the pitcher, Farnham. He's going to throw it over to Phillips, and that is going to end the top half of the second. South leads 2-0. See Class C and D North versus South Senior All-Star Games here on mbr.org. Presented by the Edge Academy. Video stream brought to you by Orthopedic Associates. OA, experience emotion. Visit them online at orthoassociates.com. Maynard will come back out there for the South. Winkett Award on tap for today. Finalists there. Do you have a Have you? Is this like the Kentucky Derby, Travis? Have you?
I haven't handicapped it, but
you haven't. You know,
I would have to think that Trevor DeLate from Bangor would be one of the favorites. I saw him pitch once this year against Messalonski, and he didn't have a perfect game, but he did throw to the minimum 21 hitters in the 7-inning game. He had a runner reach on a pass ball strike 3, who he promptly picked off, and then gave up a dribbler single up the middle, who was promptly erased for a double play ball. So,
got to see him pitch in the regional final against Edward Little. And he really silenced them. In fact, Edward Little was the only team that beat Bangor during the regular season.
And beat DeLate, I think.
And beat DeLate because of a Brandon Varney triple. And he avenged that, the regional final, just fine. And he did very well against Falmouth as well.
Yeah,
Falmouth
a
is
3-hit shutout in the state game. He's been a part of 3 state championship teams in a row for Bangor. He's heading to the University of Maine. Just all-around great left-handed pitcher.
Maynard deals to Phillips, bottom of the 2nd. And that'll be a ball. That pitch is in there for a strike, 1-1. Always good for the fielders to have a pitcher that can work fast. It keeps them in the game. Every one of them will tell you that. 1-1 pitch, off speed in there for a strike. Looked like it was going to hit him, and then broke right over the plate.
I imagine the pregame meeting with a catcher you've never thrown to is like, what do you got? All right, one's a fastball, 2's a curve, and,
right.
Let's go. I'm not going to waste much time game planning for this.
1-2 pitch fouled away, and we'll do it again. Billy Phillips actually pitches as well. He combined on a 14 strikeout performance with Ryan D. and Nick Perfect in a game against Lee Academy this year. Also had a 3-hit game versus Shed earlier this year as well.
Guys in the batting cages are going to have to beware of foul balls. That one right in there.
You have to have somebody out there with a glove. That one fouled away. Pitch is going to be flared into left field. And it is caught. 1 away. Nice play out there by Chandler Harris, by Monmouth Academy. Thomas Spencer steps in, and that pitch is going to be grounded to short, across the diamond, and it's not going to be in time. Looked like the ball kind of crossed up the first baseman there. Colin Miller was kind of not sure if he lost it for a second or what it was, and then there was a little bit of a delay there by Spencer. He kind of stutter-stepped going into the bag.
And off the bat, it looked harder than it was. It kind of skipped to the shortstop, and he kind of had to wait on it a little bit before he could make the throw.
And they got him picked off at first.
No.
Oh, no. It looks like he slid around it. That was a heck of a slide.
Very impressive.
Dakota Batchelder's in from Penobscot Valley. Throw over to first, and once again, Spencer gets back. Pitch is going to be fouled away, 0-1. Dakota Batchelder plays for Penobscot Valley. They beat Fort Fairfield for the Class D North title this year. Bats right-handed. Pitch. Off speed in there for a strike. Gets by the catcher, so down to second. We'll head Spencer. It's going to be a tough ball. Coleman Pelkey from Trape Academy let that one get by him, but it's going to be tough when you catch a curveball from a kid you've never caught a curveball from before.
Yeah, you're not quite sure how it's going to break. You're learning on the fly.
Pitch is going to be grounded over to second. 4-3 on the putout. And there is 1 away.
2 away.
2 away, excuse me. Spencer will get over to third. A wise man once told me never trust the scoreboard.
Looks like they're having just some scoreboard difficulties trying to figure out what's what up there.
Dakota Chipman. Her first pitch is in there for a strike.
Number 29 has been up for quite some time.
Another member of the Northern Sea Champs from George Stevens. definitely a trend. A lot of these kids played last weekend, so it shouldn't be too rusty. Oh, one pitch is bounced in there, 1-1. Spencer on third. 2-0. The South leads here in the top of the second. Still time to get down here for the A and B games later on tonight.
Good seats still available.
Good seats still available, correct. That pitch is going to be grounded to first.
Is he going to get over? Yeah.
Phillips over to the pitcher, Maynard, and he's there. Nice play there. That'll be 3-1 on your scorecard. After 2 innings of play, South leads 2-0 over the North. You're watching the Class C and D North versus South Senior All-Star game here on MBR.org. Of course, the Winkin Award will be in the middle of this, which I didn't know, or just joining us.
Of course, Coach Winkin had a great coaching career throughout Maine. Started right here at Colby with about 20 years of coaching before he went up to the University of Maine.
It's appropriate that it is named the Mr. Baseball Award, the Dr. John Winkin Mr. Baseball Award for all he did. Lots of what I really like about the award, too, and you see this a lot with the Fitzy, and you see it a lot with the Mr. Maine basketball. When it gets narrowed down, it's usually the bigger schools. Right. But with this one, you've got Thornton Academy, Bangor, and Falmouth right up there with Sacopee Valley, Penobscot Valley, and Herman, in terms of schools.
Valley, Halldale. Every conference in the state is recognized, which I like. Every player of the year from each conference is nominated. So
lots of good players there.
Players from all over the state, from each league. It's a well represented award.
Really like the way they do it. Yeah. I'll tell you who's on the mound here in just a moment. It's going to be Jarrett Priest from Penobscot Valley. No relation to Maxie Priest. No relation there. That I'm aware of. I don't. You may know, but I'm not.
None that I've heard.
Right. I always like to. You'd think somebody would mention that at some point.
I'm still stuck on Brady, not that one Anderson.
Right. So. Yeah. That's key. Priest is the do-everything senior for Penobscot Valley. He throws a curveball and a fastball. Also steals bases when he's in the field. He had 8 strikeouts and 5 2/3 innings on the mound. Also had 3 hits, 4 RBIs, and 4 stolen bases in a 10-5 win over Woodland earlier this year. He got into a few stat lines this year. He also had quite a game against Bangor Christian. 4 hits, 5 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, and a home run to end the game in the 6th inning. That was in a 13-3 win over PCHS.
Not too shabby.
No, that's a day. That's all right.
And for someone like me who sees a lot of players from a certain area of the state, Central Maine, which I cover, it's nice to come to a game like this and see kids from all over the place who I normally wouldn't get a chance to check out.
Right.
Get to see some talent from everywhere. I'm not going to cover Penobscot Valley. I'm not going to cover George Stevens Academy. So it's nice to see those kids play today.
Chase Malloy steps in from Madison, member of the Bulldogs.
Chase Malloy will be playing in the Lobster Bowl in a few weeks.
Yes, he will be. There's actually a couple of Lobster Bowlers that are playing in this one and the other one as well. Lots of multi-sport athletes.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback, good basketball player as well for Madison. Bulldogs had success in all 3 sports.
And he's going to have success there because he's going to loop it over the third baseman for a base hit.
He's also Cody Larson of Valley's cousin, so this is the second All-Star game that they will play in together. They played in the McDonald's All-Star basketball games this winter.
I read about that when I was doing the thing this morning. I thought that was a very interesting story. That was very well done.
You could read that in my story previewing this on centralmaine.com.
That's right. Hold on, I got to do the cash register thing there. Ching! That's how we do it.
In stores now. Wherever fine newspapers are sold.
Yes, wherever fine newspapers are sold. Darren Wood steps in from Wiscasset. Wiscasset was a sneaky team this year. They played everybody tough in Class C.
Right. Just back up from Class D, where they were for a few years. Went to the state championship game in Class D a couple years ago.
That one's going to be a flared-away foul. Runner on first here in the top of the third. South leads 2-0. Matt Boutwell, Travis Lasarchuk, undisclosed camera guy here with you at Colby College. We'll be with you on Sunday from Holman, New Hampshire. Holman Stadium in New Hampshire.
Okay.
For the Maine versus New Hampshire Senior All-Star game. That's going to be grounded to third. Over to second, 4-1, and they're not going to get that one either. Everybody's safe. Finn from Washington Academy, playing second, tried to catch that one. Wasn't able to hang on to that throw from Dakota Batchelder from Penobscot Valley. So that gives runners on first and second for the South here in the top of the third inning. That'll bring up a number 6, Troy Reynolds from Searsport High School. Swung on a miss, strike one there. Troy Reynolds, hard-throwing right-hander, pitched a perfect game against Rangeley this year, 10-0 in 5 innings. That was in a semifinal playoff game. That's when you're saving your best for when it counts. Pitches fouled away at the plate, 0-2.
Then did he also pitch against Valley in the regional final game?
He did, and he threw 161 pitches, struck out 5 while walking 8. That's like Randy Johnson, circa 1996. He's going to University of Southern Maine next year.
Workmanlike.
Off-speed pitch inside, 1-1, or 1-2 now. 1-2 pitch, runners on first and second. That's going to be fouled away. And almost off the top of the batting cage. Instead, it lands right underneath it and bounces up under the inside. That takes some effort to actually get that to bounce right where it bounced. Do the 1-2 pitch again. Pitch is going to be lined over the umpire to short. Steps on the bag for one, is not going to get the double play.
Can't tell if he slid in the first or just kind of lost his footing and tumbled into it.
I think he kind of thought he was going to slide. And
kind of got caught between, do I slide, do I go through it, and then just collapsed.
Right.
Gravity made the decision for him.
1 out, runners on the corners here for the South. They lead 2-0. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the South. That pitch is inside for a ball, and down to second will head Mr. Reynolds. Now runners on second and third with 1 out here in the top of the third inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for the North. That pitch is high, 2-0. Looks in, 2-0 pitch, high, 3-0. Count is now 3-0. Pitch from Priest is inside, and the bases are loaded. You don't want to draw a walk at an all-star game, but you don't want to swing at that pitch when it's coming right towards you either. So
swing if it's close, but that wasn't close. So.
Coleman Pelkey from Trape Academy heads down to first base. He was one of their senior tri-captains for the Rangers this year. That's going to bring up Jonah Martin from Oak Hill. That pitch is inside, 1-0. He was part of the back-to-back-to-back state football title winners as well at Oak Hill. Yes. That pitch is going to be grounded to first. Nice play.
Got no play. Great job to probably hold him to 1 run there by keeping it from going to right field.
That was exactly what it was. Billy Phillips did a good job there. He was kind of in the right spot, but lost the footing. Wasn't able to get the out. Run scores. And it's now 3-0. Nick Sanborn from Monmouth Academy will step in. Pitch is outside, 2-0. Priest hasn't been able to find his rhythm here in this inning. One 1-0 pitch is going to be hit to second. Comes up on the second baseman there. He gets it over to first.
That looked like he just wasn't used to the way it hopped off that turf and expecting it to come one way. It came a little differently and had to settle for just the 1 out.
Exactly what happened there.
Number 36, Connor Nilsson from Oak Hill.
Another run scores, will be 4-0, and now Connor Nilsson from Oak Hill will step in. Top of the third, 4-0, South leads. Runners on second and third now with 2 outs. Priest deals. Nilsson is going to line it right into center field for a base hit. 1 run scores. Second run will score as well. And
Ryan
it is now
Palmer
6-0.
waving everybody home today.
Wave him in, Ryan. Ryan Palmer. He wants to see if anybody's going to get thrown out at the plate. So far, they haven't. Tyler Susie steps in from Richmond. As you heard the legendary Don Shields say over the PA announcement. Throw over to first, and Nilsson is picked off. That will end the inning. But it was a productive one for the South. They got 4 runs that inning. We are through 2.5 innings, 6-0. The South leads. We're at Colby College for the Class C and D North versus South Senior All-Star Games. Winkin Award will be presented after this one. And then the A and B games will be later on tonight, right here at Colby College. Still time to get down. Plenty of good seats available. Beautiful day for baseball.
Ample parking.
Ample parking. Ample parking.
Speaking of the Winkin Award, we now have one of the nominees for it coming on the mound for the South, and Valley's Cody Lawyerson.
Yes.
Now, people during the basketball tournament would come up to me and say, how does a kid from Bingham, Maine, from Valley High School, get a scholarship to go to the University of Maine and pitch? And I was like, well, have you seen him pitch? Well, no. Well, watch him pitch sometime this spring, and you'll see why. He's a big righty, about 6'4", got a fastball that can reach in the mid to high 80s. Not knowing anything about what their plan is for him up in Orono yet, I would imagine maybe redshirt him, put a little muscle on, and see if you can get that fastball into the low 90s, and then see what you got.
They ought to be careful, though. I've seen him on the basketball court. Coach Walsh might be going after him. He's got some hops.
Yeah, talking to his high school coach, Jason Hartwell, in the after the season, he said he could play Division III basketball. He had no doubt, but baseball was Cody Lawyerson first love, and so that was the direction he was going after leading Valley to the Class D state championship game and the win in Class D.
The interesting thing about Valley that I saw this year, Colin Miller, who's also playing in this game, he's actually the final Miller out of a band of 6.
Yes.
And he's not going to Central Maine Community College.
He's
going to the Navy.
In the Navy. Yeah. He's,
much to Dave Gagne's chagrin down there at the basketball program.
Dave Gagne's had some good luck with the Miller boys over the years.
Curtis and Carrington both.
Yeah.
Quite a community they've got up there in Valley.
Yep, they love their basketball up there. First title since they had that run of 6 in a row, state record run of 6 in a row.
Yep.
Of course, Hartwell joined the short fraternity of people who have won a title as a coach and a player.
That's always got to be special.
It is.
And you always wonder what's more special, or do you have to look at them differently?
Yeah. Heidi Deary at Rangeley's in that group.
Yeah.
Todd Hansen at Brunswick's in that group. And I can't, off the top of my head, think of anybody else. I'm sure I'm forgetting a few. But
sure, there's definitely more than a couple.
Dakota Reinhardt from Katahdin High School.
Dakota Reinhardt from Katahdin. Trying to find stuff on Katahdin. Boy. First off, Dakota was a Penobscot Valley All-Star in basketball. He can play center field as well as catch. He throws and bats right-handed. First pitch to him is swung on a missed, 0-1. Lawyerson gets reset. 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 0-2.
It's a little too bad that there's nobody with a radar gun on some of these kids, just for entertainment purposes only.
I'm really surprised, actually. Usually there
is one right in front
there
of us.
There it is. There you go. See,
asking it will come.
That's exactly what it is. Quickly, order some French fries or something. That'll be swung on a miss, strike 3, and there's one away.
3 pitches and strikes.
Dakota Reinhardt.
87, I'm being told that was.
Whew.
So
that is going to bring up Ryan Jurgowicz from Skank High School.
Number 9, Ryan Jurgowicz from Skank High School.
That pitch is in there for a strike. Jurgowicz had multiple Player of the Week awards this season. He also pitched a complete Game 3 hitter and a 3-1 win over PCHS. He struck out 18. Also got his 300th career strikeout this year.
Yeah, he's consistently in the mid-80s right now, I'm being told.
It doesn't look like he's whipping it all out either.
Effortless.
Yeah. Flared away foul.
A little late on that.
Count 0-2. It's tough to time these guys up if you get 3 pitches, It's
and, the poor kid who gets a changeup or a curve is going to be like Bugs Bunny curve, swing 3 times and miss it. Yeah.
All the way through. 0-2 pitch. High, 1-2. Who can ever forget Bugs Bunny versus the All-Stars? Yeah. 1-2 pitch. Outside. 2-2. Good job here by Jurgowicz to battle back to even up the count. One out here in the bottom of the third. That's fouled away.
That was laced.
It was laced off the screen there and into the dugout. Luckily, that took the sting off it a little.
South guys scrambling to get out of the way down there.
They've got all these barriers up, and you still can't get away from the deflection. 2-2 pitch again. Off speed in there for a strike. Strike three. And you called it, Travis. That off speed pitch was going to get somebody, and it got Jurgowicz there.
I think Steve Trimper's going to be very happy with this addition to his team.
I think he will be too. Dennis Farnham from Orono. You saw him on the mound earlier. Now he's going to hit. 6 feet 170. Throws a fastball that's about 83. His changeup around 73. Struck out 9 and allowed 2 hits and 1 walk and a win over Dexter this season on 72 pitches. That pitch is in there for a strike, 1-1. Yeah,
Lawyerson did throw a perfect game this year. I want to say it was against Rangeley, but don't hold me to that.
I think it was.
Struck out 16.
That pitch stayed down. 2-1. I believe I've got that in the old notes here.
Of course, Valley's only 2 regular season losses was both to Richmond, and they purposely didn't pitch Lawyerson in either of these games, expecting him to face them in the playoffs. When he did, he struck out, I think, 12 or 13 and dominated and got them to the regional final.
It's a way to play that ahead. That pitch was a ball. Count is now 3-1. That pitch is going to be grounded to first. Picked up, and they're going to get it over to first. Nice play there by Lawyerson to cover first base. A lot of pitchers sometimes will forget that. Caleb Clark hands it over.
Like this, yeah.
3-1, especially, you're like, oh, hey, what's going on? Oh, hey. He remembered what he was doing.
End of 3. Inning.
Yes, exactly. End of 3. 6-0. The South leads. It is the Class C and D North versus South Senior All-Star game here on MBR.org. Video replay of this will be available online after the game at YouTube. Just look for MBR Sport on YouTube. If you subscribe to the channel, you see all the baseball videos that started in April. Of course, you'll see a lot of the basketball videos on there as well, and even some of the football videos we did last year. We continue to plan multiple games for coverage in the fall. That will include the Game of the Week, which will feature a schedule of the best games in the listening area and the viewing area as well. Looking forward to that, putting that schedule together as teams and coaches send schedules in. Got a couple in earlier today. Already see one that jumps right out at me.
What's that?
Falmouth and Leavitt, actually. Homecoming game. Leavitt always plays their game on their homecoming game on a Saturday.
A lot of schools have been doing that in recent years.
And a lot of times, they'll schedule someone that, they're thinking they're probably going to beat. But Falmouth's a really good team, so that ought to be a really good matchup. Yeah.
Then you had Waterville here last year do it the opposite way. They don't have lights for their homecoming game. They brought in lights, rented some lights, and played on a Friday night for the first time in decades. Which was a very fun night.
Yeah, it is. It's funny. When a lot of people will talk about that, and they talk about how important it is to get the football and get it under the lights. I really hope I still like those Saturday games because I think it helps those schools with coverage because I feel like when you move every game on Friday night, things kind of narrow down, so stuff gets lost in the shuffle.
You're right.
If you see how the coverage goes in the spring, it's tough. I mean, I know the job that you guys have. You got to cover lacrosse for boys and girls. You got to go softball, baseball. I mean, you're all over. Track and field is doing everything. You guys are all over the place. That pitch.
You get to what you can get to, and you
and you hope everybody wins.
Yeah, you try to do as much as you can without running yourself ragged.
Tyler Susie finally gets an at bat. He was up at the plate earlier. When runner got picked off at first, that was actually Nilsson. That pitch is going to be popped up to third. And that will be in fair territory. And there's one away. Nice play there by Dakota Chipman of George Stevens to avoid tripping over the bag and catching that in foul territory. Windy day, too. It's not easy to catch a pop-up on a day like today.
High sky also.
Pitch is fouled away by number 37, Colin Miller from Valley, who we were speaking about earlier. Going to the Navy.
Another member of that state championship basketball program.
Yeah. Pitch. Outside corner for a strike. Now 0-2. That pitch is going to be grounded to second. Over to first. Farnham is over there playing first now for Orono, or for the North, from Orono, and there's 2 away. Nice play over there at third by Pat Finn.
Gage Cody from Monmouth Academy.
Looks like we're back to the top of the order for the South.
Yeah, there's
everybody hits. It's an all-star game. You came all this way. You might as well get your swings.
That's right. It's like a bunch of DHs all at once.
Yeah.
That pitch, Cody lays down a beautiful bunt, and he's going to get to first. That was well done. There was no way Priest was going to be able to get that one, and there was no way Chipman was going to be able to get to that one. Run around with 2 outs here for the South. So a lot of teams struggle with bunting this year. He did not struggle with that. Cody knew exactly what he was doing there.
Good, fundamental, solid ball player.
Lawyerson steps into the dish. Runner on first, 2 outs. Pitch is high. They're going to send the runner down to second, and he's going to make it safely. Another stolen base. Cody used to be the leadoff guy for Monmouth, so he knows what to do leadoff-wise. 2 outs, 1 ball on Lawyerson. Pitch is going to be hammered into right field, and that'll be caught. That will end the inning.
Guys tagging up like they lost track of the outs.
So
That's okay.
That can happen in a game like this. Through 3.5, South leads 6-0. 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the South. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for the North. It's the Class C and D North versus South Senior All-Star Game here on MBR.org, presented by the Edge Academy and by Orthopedic Associates. They're our video sponsor all year long. Check them out online at orthoassociates.com.
Looks like we're going to get Larson for another inning on the mound.
There are worse things to get for another inning, you know?
I'll be talking to him and some of the other Central Maine players after this game just to get their thoughts on playing in an all-star game and in this atmosphere and being a finalist for Mr. Baseball, the Winkin Award.
That's just great. I mean, that's really good stuff when you don't, you're getting recognized no matter what class you're in. And, a lot of people lose that thought, like, oh, it's Class D, Class C. It's good when that happens. He's going to be throwing to Darren Wood from Wiscasset.
Yeah, it's too bad that we lost Coach Winkin a couple of years ago. I'm not sure how many of these kids had the chance to meet him, but I'm sure they've heard plenty about him and the impact he had on baseball in Maine. You look at all the College World Series teams he coached, all the Major League baseball players that came through Orono under his watch. Really changed the game in this state.
Really did. And that influence is felt everywhere, all the way out to San Diego. Of course, Mark Sweeney's out there now doing color with Don Warsillo out in San Diego.
Yeah.
And
Billy
Dick
Swift
Enberg.
coaching college baseball in Arizona now, I believe.
Mike Bordick. Working games with Gary Thorne on the Orioles radio on the TV network.
Dale Plummer coaching here at Colby.
All sorts of John Winkin touches everywhere. That pitch is a strike.
His memorial service, which was right here at Colby a couple of years ago, it was wonderful to hear all those players and people get up and just tell great John Winkin stories. Stump Merrill went on and on. It's just delightful to hear them.
Stump Merrill's a well-spoken guy. Of course, Stump Merrill, still a member of the Yankees organization. Priest is up right now.
Got his start as an assistant coach for Winkin at Maine.
He was probably coaching a better team than he was the Yankees in 91, too.
He very well probably was.
1-2 pitch to Priest on the outside corner for a strike, and there's one away. Lawyerson is dealing. That's going to bring up a number 17, Will Entwistle from George Stevens Academy. He wins Name of the Year. I mean, that's just a good one. He scored a run in the state championship game.
Yeah, another strong curveball right there from Larson.
He was also part of the comeback versus Holton to win the Class C North title. That was quite a comeback that George Stevens had to do to get over Holton. That curveball is waved at.
Another school with a strong baseball tradition out there at George Stevens.
Yeah. GSA. 0-1 pitch is going to be chopped away at the plate foul. 0-2. That was a very close game. That was a quickly and well-played game last week with Sacopee Valley.
I was at the softball game right next door, and I think the baseball game started a half hour after the softball game and ended before it. So,
it did.
Which is usually the opposite. Softball usually goes quicker, but not in that case.
Yeah, Skowhegan and Skowhegan and Biddeford had some runs.
Yes.
That pitch swung on a missed strike 3. And, of course, it was the orange and black there. Like, there's actually someone in front of us who was like, she was going through all of them. She was like, it was Gardner or Biddeford or Jay. I'm like, well, Jay's not there anymore.
Yeah,
so
the only difference in uniforms was Biddeford had black shoulders on their uniforms. Otherwise, it was just a lot of orange, a lot of black. It was the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown softball championship game.
It's the Halloween game.
Yes.
Pat Finn steps in from Washington Academy.
But, good job for Biddeford winning their first title in 10 years.
Off-speed pitch, inside, 2-0. A lot of good stories. Of course, there was a good story from Skowhegan this year as well on that softball side of things.
They were 3-5 at midseason, and they made that run, win the East, or pardon me, North now, and got all the way to the state game with a very young team.
Finn swings and misses at that one. 2-1 now. 2 outs. Lawyerson deals. Outside, 3-1. 3-1 pitch in there for a strike, 3-2. Finn with a good eye there. 3-2 pitch is outside. There's a walk.
Looked like he just tried to put a little more mustard on that one, and it got away a little bit.
Tried to juice that one up. It's got to be tough. I mean, you're used to taking, throughout the year, you're probably used to taking every 3-0 and 3-1 pitch.
Right.
And then you come here to an all-star game and you get a cookie right down the middle, and you're like, I'm still in regular season playoff mode. And it's got to be tough.
Yeah, it's just been ingrained in you for all your baseball playing career.
That pitch is a strike to Zach Randall from Central. 0-1 to him. He's a Red Devils ace on the mound. Allowed 5 runs in 18 innings. Had 1 complete game. Pitch fouled away. That was earlier in the season. Also batted leadoff for the Red Devils. Suffered an ankle injury last year. His coach, Peter Speed, actually compares him to Dustin Pedroia. There's worse players to be compared to.
Right.
0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. They throw down to first, and that will wrap up that inning. North leaves 1 runner on. We're through 3.5.
No,
Actually, we're through 4 full now. It's 6-0. The South leads. 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the South. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for the North. Through 4. It's Class C and D North versus South Senior All-Star games here at Colby College. Matt Boutwell from NBR.org here and Maine Baseball Report. Of course, you can stay up to date on all the Legion action and other baseball action from around the state each day. Just go to MaineBaseballReport.com. We try to gather everything up from the places around the state, including Travis Lasarchik's
CentralMaine.com.
CentralMaine.com. You guys do a great job with the Legion stuff and the Legion roundups. You guys got to keep Randy Whitehouse in line over there too.
Yeah, he's tough to keep in line. He's a wild card.
He's a
that
loose
Whitehouse.
cannon. Yeah, he is.
Dances to the beat that only he hears.
It's probably a good idea, to be honest. If anybody else heard that, I just don't know.
Yeah, because I think you hit home team at bat.
Looks like we've got a switch at catcher here. Dakota Reinhardt from Katahdin. Actually, I think he just had a little bit of delay getting all changed up there. Billy Phillips from Holton was playing first base earlier. Now he's going to pitch. Did most of his damage in relief for Holton this year. So this shouldn't be anything new to him. Top of the 5th inning. South leads 6-0. Again, the Winkin Award will be presented in between games. Try to get that for you here. Also, we'll have the A and B game as well. That'll be tonight at 6:30. And if it gets dark enough, they'll turn the lights on.
They always have before.
Yes. Of course, it's still light out now practically at 9 o'clock, so
True.
You know, it's...
Of course, we've reached that point where the days are getting shorter again. Not to
right,
bring the room down a little bit. But.
You know, you think about that, too, because you always try to stay optimistic in the winter, because when you have the shortest day of the year, you're like, all right, it can only get longer from here. Yeah. The summertime is when it's the longest day. That's when you really come back. You're like, oh, no, it's going to start to get shorter from here. It's a sobering thought.
One of my favorite things of covering the high school basketball tournament is mid to late February. The days are starting to get longer. You leave the Augusta Civic Center or Cross Center in Bangor, and it's 5 o'clock, and it's still light out, and you're like, oh, yes, it's loosening its grip. Because you're so used to, Christmas time where it's dark by, 2 in the afternoon. And
yes. Anderson steps in. Pitches in there for a strike. 0-1. I kind of hoped Anderson would have the long sideburns like Brady Anderson, the old Baltimore Orioles player, did. That's what he was known for outside of the random 50-home run season. Phillips deals 0-1, foul
being
back.
Traded with Kurt Schilling for Mike Boddicker.
Yes. I remember when Brady Anderson was the big prospect, and they thought he was expendable because they had Ellis Burks in center field.
It turned out he was just keeping Ellis Burks' seat warm in center field.
Yeah.
For half a season or whatever that was.
0-2 pitch. Curveball. Goodness. 1-2 just off the outside corner.
Then he had that magical 50-home run season in the mid-'90s, but we won't talk about how he pulled that off.
Yeah, that wasn't a unicorn, that's for sure. 1-2 pitch. Inside. Anderson had to get out of the way of that one. Count evens at 2-2.
Probably went to the pharmacy at the end of the rainbow.
Yeah. that was what he was looking for there, yes. Two balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Pitch. Fouled away. Top of the 5th inning. 6-0, the South leads.
That one went over onto the brand-new softball field. Also new this season at Colby. Also a field turf.
Tremendous facility over here.
It really is. It's very nice.
2-2 pitch again. High, 3-2.
And they're putting in new turf at Husson as we speak, so they'll have a new field next fall.
Husson's done a great job of keeping everybody updated on that, too, posting photos on that on their social media account and everything else. 3-2 pitch is fouled away. Anderson was all tied up there, but managed to foul it off and stay alive. Which, when you got 2 strikes, that's pretty much all you can do sometimes.
Yeah, just fight and stay up there.
Do what you can. Phillips deals. That'll be low, and Anderson's going to draw a walk. Of course, Anderson was a Western Maine Conference Class C&D Player of the Year as a junior. Of course, his dad is Coach Eric Anderson. Anderson actually started off the year batting .483. That's not a bad start to the year.
Not too shabby.
Not too bad. Wicked Award finalist Ryan Sinclair from Halldale due up again. He's up right now. Runner on first, nobody out. 6-0. South leads, top of the 5th. Pitches outside, 1-0.
If nothing else, Sinclair should get a fashion award today for those old stirrups.
You should get something.
That's just his class.
I'm half tempted to take a photo of that and tweet it to that Stirrups Now guy. Just be like, see, everything's good. Runner's going to go, and Anderson's going to make it without a throw. Looked like Reinhardt wasn't quite able to get that one from the glove hand into the throwing hand there. So Phillips now has a runner on second. Nobody out. 2-0 pitch. Off speed's going to be lined hard into center field for a base hit. And he will not be waved at third. I just realized it's not Ryan Palmer at third.
No.
So that was actually a pretty good throw in. So now runners on the corners as Sinclair gets a base hit, showing his medal at the plate. That'll bring up Moore from Searsport. He had a single in the second. 6-0 here, top of the 5th. Runners on the corners. Pitch swung on and missed. 0-1. Sinclair will get down to second. That makes it runners on second and third now. Oh, 1 pitch. High. 1-1. Phillips looks in. Looks over at the runner at third. Throws. That one bounces in 2-1. Moore describes himself on the mound as a contact pitcher. You don't hear a lot of guys say that.
Well, if you have a good defense behind you, that's all you really want.
That pitch is going to be popped straight up to first, and that is caught there by number 31, Dennis Farnham from Orono.
Number 28,
One away.
Alex Foy from Trape Academy.
Alex Foy steps in. He grounded into a fielder's choice in the second inning. Trape Academy.
It's just breezy enough for those high pop-ups to give guys a little bit of trouble.
Just to whittle around.
Yeah. Make it interesting.
That pitch is low, 1-0. Foy is one of the senior tri-captains for Trape Academy. Pitched a two-hitter versus Waynfleet earlier this year. He's also an honor roll student. Plays both middle infield positions for the Rangers.
Very nice.
Actually, I don't think for the Rangers. They're just Trape. I'll just go with Trape.
No, I think you're right.
You think they are?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I second-guess myself there. I'm like, they're not the shipbuilders. No, that'd be Morris.
Morris,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I mean, you could build ships down there. It's right down next to Portsmouth.
Problem is there's too many Bulldogs, Eagles, Tigers, and Rams
Yeah.
in the state. We got to
Really
have a tournament to weed some of those out.
You know what? That would be really good. As that pitch is fouled away, that would be like the nickname Survivor tournament or something.
There's not one moose in high school Maine sports. There's not one black flies.
I want to see Orono and South Portland square off for the Red Riot nickname. That's what I want to see.
You'd think there'd be like someone down east, the Trappers,
Right.
something like that, but no, of course not.
The Lobstermen.
Everyone, yeah.
1-2 pitch is going to be flared foul, and it's going to be just out of the
Everyone's
reach.
a Bulldog, Eagle, Tiger, or Ram.
Yep. Shipman did a good job there to avoid injury. And that's probably a play, too, where you want to see the guy slide, because if he runs into that wall, it's not going to be comfortable.
No.
Really unique design of the field here. It's actually kind of sunk in, so you walk a little bit more up. That 1-2 pitch is outside 2-2.
Yeah, I would come up here to Colby football practice once a week in the fall, and they'd be over there just across the street on the football field practicing, and I'd kind of come over here and check out the construction progress, and it was nice to see this place slowly come to form.
2-2 pitch fouled away. We'll do it again. Yes, doing the baseball games this spring from different positions, there's always, you never quite know where you're going to end up. It was a pleasant surprise today when they said, yes, you'll be right behind home plate. And it was one of those mesh nets, so it wasn't going to be, too atrocious.
Yeah.
Pitch is fouled away again.
No
Foy
chain link to
staying
be
alive.
fouled.
Yes, that makes it difficult. Phillips having to work hard with this one. Runners on second and third. 1 out. Top of the fifth. South leads 6-0. They're looking to make it more. Foy waits for the pitch. Outside, 3-2. Full count Clark going to be on deck. Caleb Clark from Gould Academy. 3-2 pitch is going to be lined into center field for a base hit. 1 run scores, and a second run scores as well. Throw down to second, not in time. Sinclair scores. And Randall scored. Excuse me. That was, Sinclair who scored, and number 34, Brady Anderson scored. And is now 8-0. And Clark will step in now. Nice piece of hitting there by Foy. That was just a good at bat.
Yes.
Pitch to Clark. Strike. Phillips winds and fires. It's going to be hammered into right field and not caught. Just out of the outstretched hand of Poulin from Central.
He's going for third, and he's going to
Clark
get there
is
easily.
running like a gazelle. RBI triple. That'll score Foy. It is now a 9-0. The South leads.
Number 8, Voltarian from Oak Hill.
Terrian, I believe, is another one of these players who will be in the Lobster Bowl in just a couple weeks.
I believe he will be. Well deserved, too.
Very well deserved.
Played one of the guttier games I've ever seen in the state title game against Foxcroft Academy.
No, MCI.
Against MCI, excuse me. I got my Foxcrofts and my MCIs mixed up. Pitch swung on a missed.
Yeah, an MCI defense that was geared up for the passing game, and Tarian just did a lot of quarterback options and ran all over him.
He really just took advantage of what the defense gave him on a rainy night in Orono. Pitch. Outside. First, didn't think I was going to like the old the Friday night games for the state championships. But boy, I'll tell you what, rotating it between those three and getting everybody a chance to play on that college field, I think is a great experience.
It's been good. I've covered all three of them now, and while only two of the three have been competitive games, of course, Winslow, just absolutely bulldozed Levitt a couple years ago. But it's just a great atmosphere for those kids.
It really is, and they get to play on a pretty important field. 9-0 here in the top of the fifth inning.
Last year the parking was a little dicey with a UMaine hockey game going on right next door, but the football game itself is wonderful.
Tarian grounds it over to short, throw across the diamond, and he's going to be safe. They always say you don't slide in, but Tarian used that football player mentality and slid in there. He gets an RBI. Clark scores.
He would have been safe even if he had run through it, which he should have.
He could have like barrel rolled into there, and I think he would have been safe.
Roderick Maynard from Saucony Valley.
Roderick Maynard will now step in.
No 10-run rule today. We're going to play all 9, so I think. I'd hope.
Pitch. Tarian's going to get down to second, and they got him. Could have gone either way, but second base ump gave the call to the north. Yeah. Nice tag there by Zach Randall.
Tie goes to the team down 10 runs.
That's usually how that works, yes. Base is clear now. 2 outs. Top of the fifth, 9-0 South leads. 10-0 South leads, excuse me. Pitch is high to Maynard, 2-0. Pitch. Outside corner for a strike, 2-1. Phillips sets. He delivers. Outside corner for a strike, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the fifth inning, 10-0. The South leads. Two pitch from Phillips. Off speed, just off the plate. Count is now full at 3-2. Maynard, of course, pitched earlier in this one. Pitch is going to be fouled straight back, and we'll do the 3-2 all over again. 4 runs this inning for the South. The 3-2 is going to be hit and just fouled on the first base line. Farnham wasn't able to get to it, but it did not stay within the chalk. Maynard digs back in, waiting for the 3-2 from Phillips. Phillips looking to get out of this inning. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pitch, cue ball the way, and we'll do it again.
Hanging in there.
Lots of tough at-bats today. You never know what you're going to get. Sometimes I feel with some of these games, sometimes they're going to be right up there. First pitch swinging, away you go, and lots of patience today being shown on both sides. 3-2 pitch is going to be foul back. And that'll be right next to us.
Oh, a fan took that off the shoulder. Hope he's okay.
I think he's all right.
He seems to be.
Looks like he's okay. I think
like
there's a glancing blow there.
He's like, is that all you got?
I think it was the upper left tricep.
Yeah.
If he played hockey, he'd be deemed questionable with an upper body injury.
And he hasn't rubbed it. I got to give him credit.
No, that's
he
good.
has not rubbed it.
3-2 pitch is
Works
low, and he works out a walk. Nice play there by Maynard.
Number 19, Chandler Harris from Monmouth Academy.
Harris from Monmouth gets a chance up again. Had a great game earlier this year against Wiscasset. Actually drove in a pair of runs, and he earned the win when Monmouth beat Wiscasset at Monmouth earlier this year. Of course, Monmouth had an undefeated regular season. Fell in the MVC title game to St. Dom's, and then fell to Sacopee Valley in the playoffs.
I saw the Mustangs once this year when they took on, also unbeaten at the time, Madison in a key MVC game.
That pitch is going to be hit over to third base, but the shortstop will take it. And that will end top of the fifth.
4.5, the South 9, the North nothing.
They're actually going to call it 9-0, the South with the lead. I thought it was 10, but
I thought it was 10.
I think it is 10. I think it is 10. We'll see. I had it as 10. We'll go with that. We are midway through the fifth inning.
I'm not keeping a book for this one. So.
Yeah. It is 10.
Okay.
It's good. Those fielder's choices can get everybody once in a while.
Sure.
It's the Class C and D North versus South Senior All-Star Game here at Colby College. The Winkett Award will be announced in between games, and then the A and B squads will take over the field tonight, 6:30 here.
My colleague Mike Siemens, a very fine photographer, walking across the home plate area right now. You can see his photos on centralmaine.com accompanying my work.
Excellent. And we got a new pitcher on the mound for the South. That'll be number 24, Chase Malloy from Madison.
Replacing his cousin?
Yes. Good moment there for the family.
Yes. Another cousin, Luke Malloy, joined them in the McDonald's All-Star basketball game playing for Valley. So that was nice for the family to see the three of them together.
Malloy, also a very good student. He's on the honor roll for Madison. Drove in 3 runs earlier this year in a win over Telstar.
I think he'll be heading off to UMaine Farmington, where he'll be playing basketball for Coach Meter.
It's quite a program up at UMF. A lot of Mainers that have played up there over the years and played for Coach Meter and played well. And of course, you got the baseball program with Coach Bessie too. So
coming off one of the best seasons they've had in quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
And leading off, number 30, Cam Varney from Washington Academy.
Cam Varney will step up here for Washington Academy. He grounded out to third back in the first inning. 10-0. Don't pay attention to your scoreboard. Scoreboard says 24-0 right now. It's 10-0. See, Class C and D North versus South Senior All-Star game.
We'll chalk that up to operator error.
Oh yeah, that happens. I couldn't run a clock. No
I
idea. No way.
They're doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, they really are. First pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1. I went to games this year where there was no clock. I went to a game where the clock was just, it would reset itself,
yeah.
and you weren't sure where you were at. So at this point, keep it on your own. Yeah, be safe. Pitch. Swung on and missed. 1-2. Tough to be out ahead of that off-speed pitch.
Especially after seeing 87-mile-an-hour fastballs from Cody Larson the last 2 innings.
Doesn't help anything.
Yeah, next, if the South has a knuckleballer, they'll be all set.
Right, yeah. They can just tie it right through there. 1-2 pitch. Off-speed is going to be lined.
On that one, though.
He did hang back on that one and hit that one into left field for a base hit. Good hit there by Varney, and he's going to single. Leadoff runner on for the North.
Grant Poulin from Central.
Grant Poulin will step in for Central High School. He struck out in the first inning. Ten to nothing. Bottom of the fifth. North trails the South. Pitch is foul away. 0-1 to Poulin. Poulin plays soccer and basketball for Central. He's also an honor roll student. It's always nice when you do the searches for these kids, and the first thing that comes up is the honor roll for like the fourth quarter.
That is the important thing, obviously.
Right. It's a big deal. It's good to have that balance in the classroom and on the athletic field. Fouled away. Looked like the hit and run was on there. Count now 0-2 to Mr. Poulin. He had 5 hits and 5 RBIs in a 16-4 win over Bangor Christian on May 20th. Have a day, young man.
It's kind of a game that'll get your name in the paper.
Yeah, it will. Even on the old roundups.
Yeah.
Pitch swung on a miss. Runner down at first, so can't go anywhere. He's like, oh, it's good. 1 away.
Number 35, Grant Doan from Penobscot Valley.
And Grant Doan steps in from Penobscot Valley. He was part of the victims who got outs in the first inning. Pitch is going to be hit into the vacated hold in left field for a base hit.
Good work there.
That's exactly what you want to see. Foy was running to cover second.
Number 29, Billy Phillips.
And Doan was able to take it the other way. Textbook. Billy Phillips steps up. He played first base earlier. He was on the mound last inning. Steps up here batting left-handed. Off-speed pitch is up, 1-0. Runner goes at second, over to third. He'll get in there standing. Poulin gets into third with a steal. Not a heck of a lot Pelkey could do there.
I think that's the North's second run to the third base.
Looking to get on the scoreboard. They'll have Doan run down to second. And now you got runners on second and third here on the bottom of the fifth. North down 10-0. Phillips at the dish. Malloy deals. That swung on and missed strike 3. Phillips is down swinging, and there's 1 away. That'll bring up Tom Spencer from Penobscot Valley.
Number 18, Thomas Spencer from Penobscot Valley.
Pitch to Spencer is outside. 1-0. He is going to Thomas College.
Sure, Coach Greg King's going to be excited to get him.
In the Penobscot Valley Conference Class D North Player of the Year. Pitch fouled away. He led the Howlers to the #1 seed in the final Class D North Heel Point standings. They won the Class D North title, fell to Searsport in the Class D state game.
Howlers is one of the better nicknames, just because it's different.
It is. You're not going to your Howlers confused,
No.
you know?
You're not going to say Howlers. Which one?
Yeah, exactly. Off speed, curveball, inside. 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bottom of the fifth. 10-0. The South leads the North. Malloy looks in. That's going to be chopped right back to him. He'll field it. He gets it over to first. And that will end the threat. North gets runners on second and third with nobody out. Can't get a runner across. After 5 innings of play, 10-0, the South leads. It's the Class C and D North versus South Senior All-Star Game here on MBR.org. Video stream on YouTube. Just subscribe to MBR Sport on YouTube. You be alerted every time we go live, every time we've got video replays up as well. I want to thank Undisclosed Camera Guy for coming up, being a part of the action today. Making sure these games get on the air. I also want to thank the Edge Academy and Orthopedic Associates. Orthopedic Associates is our year-long video sponsor. Find them online at orthoassociates.com. Spencer is going to come in now, and, Govin looks like he's going to pitch for Bucksport. That'll be Jake Govin on the mound for the North. Bucksport, of course, last year lost to St. Dom's in the state final game. usually good at everything. They've got somebody going to a state final for something every year, whether it's football or baseball or softball. They're some good athletes over there in Bucksport. Top of the 6th inning. And to the dish.
Now batting number 24, Chase Malloy from Madison High School.
Chase Malloy, who was on the mound for the South at the beginning, or in the last inning, will now have a chance to help his own cause. Up 10-0. Govan kicks, fires, outside, 1-0 to Malloy. One-0 pitch, foul away, 1-1. Good pitch to hit, fouled it off. Govan steps and delivers low, 2-1. 2 runs in the second, 3 runs in the fourth, 4 runs in the third, and 4 runs in the fifth. Made it 10-0 for the South here. That pitch is outside, 3-1. It's like Jurgowicz behind the plate here. That pitch is going to be fouled away again. Count is now full at 3-2.
Malloy put that one into traffic. Didn't hit a car going by, though, unfortunately.
Did not.
A little excitement.
A little bit. 3-2 pitch, fouled away.
Talk about an act of God. You're driving through Colby on a nice day, minding your own business, and a foul ball blasts out your windshield.
It's like getting hit by a bird going down the turnpike or something. You're like, that's just bad timing. That's all it is.
Yeah, Hippick Field in Farmington, same way.
3-2 pitch fouled away. Yeah. That's a legendary field, too.
Great little old grandstand. I've covered some great games there. They hosted the New England Babe Ruth tournament about 5 years ago, 2011, maybe 2012. It was just a good time.
Pitch is up to Malloy, and he'll draw a walk. Leadoff runner on for the South.
Number 30.
Here in the top of the 6th.
From Wiscasset High School.
Darren Wood from Wiscasset comes in. They're now known as the Wolverines, if I remember correctly.
That's right.
Yes.
Been that way for three seasons now, maybe 4.
Pitch is high. Jurgich throws down to second, and that'll get into center field, but Malloy will stay right there. Ten to nothing here in the top of the 6th. 10 runs for the South, no runs for the North. They had second and third in the last inning with nobody out. We're not able to get anybody across. A and B games coming up tonight. Keep it tuned right here to mbr.org. Off-speed pitch in there for a strike, 1-1. Nice curveball there by Govan.
Some of the A and B hitters in the batting cages right now. You can hear them getting some swings in.
Hearing the pings.
Yes.
1-1 pitch, curveball. Beauty of a curveball, but just inside, 2-1.
These batting cages over here to our left are part of this new facility.
Covered batting cages as well.
Yes. Very nice.
2-1 pitch, up 3-1.
In the last 10 years, Colby has really done a nice job with some upgrades here.
Fouled down the third baseline.
These being the most recent ones with the baseball and softball fields. Turf on the football field a few years ago, what they also used for lacrosse and soccer and some things. Old-fashioned turf field for field hockey.
Nice to see all the facilities in Maine all starting to upgrade a little bit. Gives
Yes.
many more options. That's going to be flared into right field and caught.
And we're lucky that so many of the colleges allow the local high schools to use the facilities and
That is a big
get a
deal.
chance to play in a first-class place.
From Searsports High
Nice
School.
catch out in right field by Dakota Chipman from George Stevens, and there's one away. That will send up Troy Reynolds from Searsport. Swung on a miss, 0-1.
Flailed at that one a little bit.
Oh, 1 pitch. Flailed at. Wild pitch will go back to the backstop. Still a strike, 0-2.
Malloy goes up to third.
Jerkovich had to go track that one down. Gobbin looks in. Shakes off the catcher, then gets the sign he wants. You don't see that very often.
You don't know what I want to throw.
Yeah, I really. Pitch
Yeah, he off.
waved at, and there's 2 away. That was kind of a sneak play, bunting on 2 strikes. Looked like he was going to go for the drag bunt there, and wasn't able to catch up with it.
Trying to be a little sneaky and get that run home.
Coleman Pelkey from Trape Academy will step in. Grounds it over to second. Over to first. Farnham fields it there. And the South leaves a runner on as Malloy gets stranded at third. We are through 5.5. 10-0. The South leads the North. It's the Class C and D North versus South Senior All-Star Games here at Colby High School, at Colby College. It's the high school All-Star Games, of course. Winkin Award will be given away in between these 2 games. A and B games tonight, North versus South. Stay tuned for that right here on mbr.org. Subscribe to the YouTube channel now, MBR Sport. Be releasing the football schedule here in the next few weeks. Football just around the corner.
Yeah, when Lobster Bowl time comes, I am in full football mode from then till Thanksgiving.
That's usually how it works, yeah. And that's usually, when you're talking about hot days, that's usually a hot day. There's no...
Yeah, I remember a few years ago, it was about 100 degrees in the field with the heat index, and they normally try to play 15-minute quarters. They reduced it to 12. Automatic water breaks at 6 minutes in each quarter, and really did a nice job making sure all the kids were safe, players and cheerleaders alike.
It's got to be tough.
Everyone hydrated.
That's an important game for a lot of folks. Obviously, they know who they're playing for, and big deal, and it's a big honor. A lot of them are putting on their helmets they're putting on football helmets for the very last time. You know? And there are guys here today that may be putting on their baseball gear for the last time too, outside of playing in a men's league or something like that. So, senior all-star games always bittersweet, no matter what the sport, because some are going to continue on, and some are just going to go out into the real world, and some are just going to go to college and play intramurals, and
just the opportunity to be recognized as one of the best in the state in your respective sport is an honor in itself.
Really is. Chandler, let's flip that back over. We're back on the blue. Dakota Batchelder.
A new pitcher for the South. Looks like it's Sinclair from Halldale.
It is Sinclair. He steps and fires outside.
Or someone who stole Ryan Sinclair's stirrups.
Right. Stole the stirrups, uniform, whole 9 yards. 1-0 pitch. Outside corner for strike 1-1. What's great about Ryan is his hat matches the shirt as well.
Yes.
Doesn't happen a lot in these games. Off-speed pitch is inside. Just missed that one. Pitch fouled away.
And covering all these all-star games of the years, one of the things a lot of the kids tell me is it's so nice to play with your former rivals. Like the Lobster Bowl guys every year tell me, oh, I hated that guy,
Right.
Now I'm roommates with him here at camp, and he's the best guy I ever met. And it's always nice to hear that kind of stuff.
You see that a lot, too.
You do.
That pitch is going to be grounded right back to Sinclair. Fielded by the shortstop, throws over to first. Nice play there. That was Foy on the play, showing his shortstop skills, and there's one away.
Lawyerson playing first base for the South now.
Dakota Chipman from George Stevens Academy.
Dakota Chipman steps in now against Sinclair. Bottom of the 6th, 10-0. South leads. Matt Boutwell here. Travis Sarchuk joins me on the color commentary today from centralmaine.com. Pitch is fouled away at the plate, 0-1. Undisclosed camera guy here as well. Don Shields on the PA, that you hear behind me. Has not unleashed a bingo yet, but we're waiting for it. 0-1 pitch. Low and outside, 1-1.
Don, of course, coming off another strong season for Oceanside as head baseball coach.
Yes. Did not end the way you wanted it to,
No.
but
Well,
very
it
good
only gets to
squad.
end the way you want it to for 4 teams. So
That's how that works.
one of his players, Nick Mazurek, will be in the next game, the AB game.
Saw a great feature on him this week. VSTV did it. Really well done on Nick. Pitches a strike. Of course, Nick was on that Oceanside squad that did really well on the basketball side of things.
Yes. Nick's also a finalist for this year's John Winkin Award. We'll see him between games.
Multi-sport athlete, Mr. Mazurek.
And he recently played the New England High School Golf Championships just on Wednesday down in New Hampshire.
That was a great article I read about him where he had to debate whether he wanted to play golf or baseball. And he said, oh, I'll see how far baseball takes me. I can always go back to golf.
Yeah, golf's a lifelong sport.
That's right. That's a good point.
I was talking to a girl today who'll be our Morning Sentinel High School Tennis Player of the Year, and that's what she said about not playing in college. She's going to be playing tennis her whole life.
Out to right field,
Nice
and what
catch.
a nice catch.
South's showing off the leather this inning.
They really are. That was a really nice catch out there by Dennis Farnham. No, excuse me, that was not Dennis Farnham. That was Roderick Maynard who moved out to right field for Sockabee Valley. Maynard showing it with a glove, throwing it on the mound, showing it at the plate. Sockabee Valley, the real deal.
Yeah. And they got the hardware to show it.
Dakota Reinhardt steps into the dish against Sinclair with 2 away. Bottom of the 6th. Went to Sockabee Valley this year for the first time for a game, and they were taking on NYA. It was quite the drive. I kept thinking my GPS was bringing me to New Hampshire.
Close enough. I've never had to go to Sockabee Valley for work. I've driven through Hiram, of course, in my travels, but never covered anything at the high school.
Quite a facility.
You know, it's too bad that the football thing didn't work out there, but obviously
Right.
baseball has. Congratulations to the Hawks.
Yeah, softball team had a pretty decent year for them as well. 2-1 pitch, 1-1 pitch is a ball, 2-1. Dakota Reinhardt from Katahdin High School. Pitches outside, 3-1. Sinclair kicks and delivers 3-1 pitch. Outside corner for a strike. 3-2. The 3-2 pitch, waved at, swung on and missed.
Another strong inning on the mound for the South. They've just gone through 4 really, really tough pitchers.
They really have. And Reinhardt did his best. He got the count full. Goes down swinging.
You expect maybe to see like Sanborn from Monmouth or something like that get an inning. Another great pitcher.
End of 6 innings of play. 10-0. The South with the lead over the North. It's the Class C and D North versus South Senior All-Star game. Festivities just getting underway here for the overall part of the day. Winkin Award being given away in between games. And then, of course, the Classes A and B North versus South All-Star game, Senior All-Star game coming up later on tonight. That'll be a 6:30 first pitch there.
You couldn't ask for a better day for this. Not a cloud, perfect temperature.
Nice little breeze.
Appetite for Destruction playing on the PA right now. Just
Yeah.
Overall, good day.
That doesn't get you fired up. I don't know what does. Zach Randall from Central High School. He'll jump onto the mound.
Takes an MIT guy to run the scoreboard, so I gotta do it.
Had an ankle injury last year that really affected his year, but Coach Peter P. Speed have said about Zach Randall, quote, nobody in the state can play second base like him. He makes all the plays and makes plays that high school players shouldn't make. Pretty good stuff from your head coach there.
That's high praise. Best defensive play I ever saw from a high school player was in the Class A state championship game in 2002. It was Sam Dexter from Messalonskee High School, who's now finished up a career at USM and now playing for the Great Falls Voyagers in the Chicago White Sox single A system. Against Scarborough, the Red Storm had a runner on first, and Dexter went in the hole to get what looked like a sure single to left and flipped it to his brother playing second base, who flipped it on to first for a double play and took the Red Storm out of an inning, and Messalonskee went on for the first Class A state title.
Sam Dexter was quite the basketball player. Those Dexters are quite the athletes.
Yeah, best three-sport athlete I've seen in my years covering high school sports, in football, ice hockey, and baseball, obviously.
Is that the
left,
first?
left USM with quite a few offensive records.
Now, were you? Is that one of the first? That must be. Is that one of the first guys you've covered that's been drafted into the major leagues?
Yes, it was him. There was Tip Fairchild from Monmouth, who also went to USM, was drafted, made it up to Double-A with the Houston Astros before he went in and had some arm trouble. Then, of course, everyone remembers Mark Rogers from Mount Airy High School, who was drafted, I want to say, 4th or 5th overall by the Brewers in 2004.
I think it was 5th.
5th, and then made it up to the big leagues a little bit. Also a guy with elbow and shoulder problems, never quite panned out in the big leagues for him, but he was a joy to watch in high school.
He really was. I remember one of the games at Hadlock Field, standing room only.
Yeah, state championship game against Deering. You think about something, in high school baseball, that state championship in Maine had three players went on to play Major League Baseball. Rogers, Ryan Flaherty from Deering, now with the Orioles, and Ryan Reed from Deering was a pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates and Tampa Bay Rays for a little while. So that'd be incredible for any state, but from a small state like Maine to have 3 guys go on to a Major League career from one high school game.
Especially in a state like this where, you've got the academies, you got the places where you can go train all year, but a lot of these kids are multi-sport athletes, so if they're not, they're not playing baseball during the off season, they're just getting their licks in. And
what I remember about that game was originally scheduled to be played at Gorham High School on Saturday afternoon, as state games normally are, and they moved it to Hadlock Field on Tuesday, I believe, when they could get it, so they could get the crowd in, and they certainly delivered on that.
They definitely got the crowd in. First pitch.
I think Don Shields just got an email or something. His computer binging everywhere instead of the music.
Mine did. Had to switch internet providers there. That pitch swung on a miss, 3-2. Got to have multiple internets nowadays. Never know what you're going to need to connect to. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Pitch is in there for a strike.